Good evening and welcome out everyone to tonight's tackle trading onboarding webinar. This is Coach Frank. I will be taking you through the tackle trading website this evening, showing you around, let you know, where things are, when they are, giving you maybe some ideas of how you can best fit them into your life, and just to introduce you a little bit to us here at Tackle Trading and get to know what we are all about. So appreciate you joining with me live or catching the recording a little bit later. We'll dive right into it here this evening. Uh, let's kind of start here. Uh, I break everything into three phases. I'm a breakdown guy. I like to put things in buckets, and no different for tackle trading, especially when it comes to explaining it. Bucket one is going to be things that you can do on your own. That's going to be courses, blogs, the trade journals, some of our different trading tools. Bucket two is going to be things that you can do with others. Our live shows that we're doing each market day, each week. So what the schedule and what those shows are. And bucket three, our weekend reports. Each weekend we put together a newsletter, a stock, option, commodity, and forex reports for our team members to have them prepared for any markets that they're trading going into the upcoming week. So we'll kind of look at it in that perspective here this evening as we're moving right along. Very quick before I dive into that, I would highlight the Huddle podcast. This is a relatively new podcast that we've started here. You can catch it right over here. That link, as you saw on Tackle Trading, will take you directly to the Huddle, thehuddle.com. It is available on all of the major podcast providers. You can also listen to it here, which is what I do because I don't really do the podcast thing, but I do really like the Huddle. It's just a quick each morning top 5 story roundup to get you ready to be on top of things for the trading day. So no fuss, no muss type of stuff over in the Huddle. It's a great way to start your trading day. Would definitely encourage you to check that out. Again, thehuddle.com. You can get there directly from this link here on Tackle Trading. With all that said, let's talk about that first bucket, things that you can do on your own. And for most of us, I think the thing that's going to stand out the most in that regard is going to be courses. We do have a handful of premium systems. As you can see here, the Tackle 25 step system, cash flow condors, and the bear market survival guide. These are premium systems, simply meaning it's a one-time purchase. The system is yours for life. We get together once a month with members of that team in a mastermind group. Just to briefly let you know what they are, if you would like more information, you can hop over to the store or send us an email to team@tackletrading.com and we can get you some more information. But just so you really quickly know what they are, the Tackle 25 is a covered call-based system on a select group of stocks that we put together each year with the idea of selling covered calls against those stocks. Step system is our swing trading system, just standing for stop, target, entry, and position size. Cash flow condors, another cash flow system, this time on the Russell 2000 through selling credit spreads, and a bear market survival guide, protecting our long-term portfolio from bearish market turns and then dealing with bearish market conditions when we are in them. These will be the only things that aren't available to you as a pro member at Tackle Trading. These are kind of standalone products, if you will. Everything else that we talk about here tonight will be available to each and every pro member of our community, including our 7-step guide to trading. This is kind of I kind of think the best way to describe it is a kind of introduction to the tackle trading way. There's a lot of us here at Tackle Trading and a lot of different, levels of experience, a lot of different, trading styles. But I do think fundamentally we kind of share a common vision for what trading is and how to build our accounts over time, from starting at the top of the markets, taking that top down approach. Hey, where is the strength in the market? Where's the weakness in the market? Matching our strategies to view the situation that we're in, finding our trades, prepping, placing, and managing those trades, of course, journaling the trades. So this will really kind of give you an idea of, I guess, what the tackle trading way is, at least on a fundamental level. It will also help if you're newer to the markets in developing a little bit of a daily routine, which is, very important to do for all of us as traders. It's easy to say we need a good routine. Sometimes for some of us, it's pretty easy to get into the rhythm. For others, maybe not so much. So you can get some ideas on that side as well over in the 7-step guide to trading. Our technical analysis. Hey, we're traders, which means we're technicians, right? We look at charts and we look at lots of them. Technical analysis 101 is going to hopefully build your confidence and your skill set in reading what those charts are telling you. The better we are at that, I think the easier everything is going to be for us. And the cool thing about technical analysis is it's for everything, right? You might be day trading Bitcoin, you're still using technical analysis. You might be swing trading the Dow Jones, you're using technical analysis. Trading copper, trading, whatever, whether you're trading short term, intermediate term, long term, whatever the product is, it's going to be helpful for all of them. And so we need to build a strong foundation, and we need to constantly be getting a little bit better at reading those charts. And hopefully the technical analysis 101 course can help you if you are brand new and have never really got into charts before, give you a really good foundation. If you've been trading for a while, you probably know a thing or two about charts. Doesn't mean you can't learn a few more things. I've never met the trader that's 100%. I'm still looking for him. I'm still trying to be the first, but I'm not going to hold my breath. But that doesn't mean we can't try to get better, right? Our Options 101 course is really going to focus on the option contract itself. And what I mean by that, there's a lot of little things when it comes to options, right? With stock, it's straightforward. If you buy a share of the stock today for $20, sell it for 21 tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, as long as you sell it for more than you paid for it, you're good, right? You made that money, and you're moving on. Options are a little different. There's a lot of moving parts. There's, how does time impact that option contract? How does volatility impact that option contract? How does movement in the stock impact that option contract? And we really need to understand those, what are of course called the Greeks. We really need to understand those if we're going to really feel comfortable trading the different strategies that being able to trade options provides us. So the Options 101 course is going to help you get a better handle on what's really going on with that option. Why is it moving the way it's moving? How can we project that going into the future? And not a whole lot on talking about bull call spreads, bull put spreads, covered calls. I'll show you where all of our strategies are here in a few. But the Options 101 course, while mentioning them, is really going to focus on the contract itself. If you've ever been interested in learning more about either the futures and the commodities market or the currency market over in Forex, we do have introduction courses into those markets as well. A lot of people, I know I was this way with Forex in particular, felt that market was, I don't know, too big for me. I don't know how to explain it, but I think a lot of people kind of feel like, yeah, maybe that's just too crazy of a market for me or whatever. And that's not necessarily true. And I don't really care, if you like to trade Forex or not. You don't have to trade everything. You trade the things that you like. But I never want anybody to feel like they can't trade Forex or the futures market because it's too big for them, or they're not good enough, or whatever it might be. These are just different markets, right? In many ways, they're going to be very similar to the stock market. In other ways, there's some things we need to know about them. If you've ever been interested in learning more about those markets, hopefully these can be a great place to start out, getting understanding of what kind of moves them, how does that leverage work, how does the movement work, all of that good stuff. Regardless of what you're trading, whether it's whatever it is, we do need to have clear, repeatable rules and systems in place, because that's kind of the game with trading, right? The whole, especially directional trading, but trading in general really is nothing works 100% of the time. If it did, that's all we'd ever talk about, right? That's all that. Of course it is. Why would you do anything else if something was 100%? Trading is a game of numbers and probabilities, right? And if I do this 100 times, I'm going to lose a lot of them. I'm going to win a lot of them. That might be 70-30, and it might be 70-30 one way or the other, depending on the type of the type of trade it was. But the real question is, am I making money big picture doing it, right? And we have to have clarity in rules and systems for us to be able to pull that off. So regardless of what we're trading, our system development course is going to be a fantastic resource to help you train yourself to think like a systems builder when it comes to trading. I would say most people don't think about, that. I think everybody agrees that it's important to have rules and to have, kind of air quote systems in place. I think everybody, agrees in theory, but it's one thing to say it, another thing to do it. This system development course really is designed to kind of train you to think about your trading from a systems builder perspective. And I'll tell you what, it really, when you have clearly defined systems that you believe in and trust, it really does take a lot of, I don't know, pressure off of your shoulders. I think when it comes to trading. So no matter what you're trading, no matter where you are in this process, I would definitely encourage you to check out the System Development 101 course when you get a chance. I do think you'll get a lot out of that one. So those are going to be our different courses. We do blog content regularly as well, whether it's more charting over in Tales of a Technician, more on options over in the Option Theory blog, work with Coach Greg in the Rookie Corner and kind of taking concepts, from the ground up, if you will, hearing from our awesome female traders over in the Women in Trading blog. These are all going to be relatively short reads. We're talking, 5-ish minute type of reads, but just another way to introduce ideas, talk about what's going on in the market, things like that with members of our team. Not everything has to be an hour-long webinar or a 2-hour course or something along those lines. So certainly be on the lookout for our blog content. Over in the Trade Center, you'll find a handful of different things. You'll find a link to our trading glossary, a link to our trading journals, a link to our events calendar, which I'm sure we'll be back to before the night is done, as well as a link to the Tackle Trading Playbook. This is where we're going to have where all our strategies are going to be. See if we can get there here. We break our strategies into 3 core areas based on the options Greek: Delta, Theta, and Vega. Delta is just direction, right? So Delta plays, buying a stock is a Delta trade. Buying some Bitcoin is a Delta trade. Buying a call option, doing a bull call spread, we expect this asset, the stock, whatever it is, to go up, right? So when you think Delta, think direction. Then you've got Theta, or cash flow, right? Theta, or time. Cool thing about options is we can sell them. You want to buy it? Well, I can be the dude that sells it to you. You can give me that money and I'll put it in my account. And well, I hope you're wrong in that example, right? So, but one thing that I do know, regardless of whether you're right or I'm right, is that option is going to experience time decay, because every day that passes, it's one day closer to expiration, right? And that's really the power of selling options, is we know for a fact that tomorrow is going to come and go, right? I know that option is going to lose value to time, and I know that time is undefeated, right? It always passes. I'm wrong on charts plenty of times. I'm right plenty of others, but I'm never wrong when I say Tuesday is going to come and Tuesday is going to go. I got 100% track record there. So that's going to be things like selling credit spreads, selling naked puts, selling covered calls against shares that we own, things of that nature. And then you've got your Vega or your volatility strategies. We're coming, just come out of an earnings season, which is where I kind of always think that these, when I think about these strategies, that's what I think. But these are bi-directional trades where I don't have an opinion on which way it's going to move. I have an opinion on how much it's going to move. I think it's going to move a lot. I think it's not going to move a lot. That type of a trade based on the volatility of the stock. And that's going to be our Vega playbook. In each of these, we'll have a video going in detail, what the strategy is, why we would choose that strategy, what our rules for the strategy are, how much time are we buying or selling, what's our delta rules, all of that fun stuff, where we kind of fit it. And we also doing that here kind of in this plus, 0 to plus or -3 range, kind of 0 being flat neutral, +3 being very bullish, -3 being very bearish, +2 being moderately bullish or just normally bullish, -2 being normally bearish, and then -1 slightly bearish, +1 slightly bullish. We always kind of want to match that strategy to the situation, or at least our interpretation of the situation, right? So we'll kind of let you know where we think that strategy fits on that spectrum as well. We will be putting an example. If you're using the Thinkorswim platform, we'll be putting in an example to kind of show you how to get that order in if you need some help on that side and are using TOS. There's also the PDF download, just a little quick cheat sheet so you can easy access to the rules. Like how much time am I supposed to be buying on a long call? What are my delta rules? That type of stuff. So it's an easy access to those rules. So that's going to be the playbook. All of the strategies will be there, and kind of hopefully get you going on each and every one of them. If you go directly into the Trade Center, just click on Trade Center here. This will just take you to a kind of a what's up at Tackle Trading page. What's our next show? We're having our bear market survival guide mastermind group, right, for members of that team here coming up. What are our most recent posts, most recent report, most recent tweet? There's a watch list in here if you want to, add some stocks to your, watch list that you can easily get to when you just come into your Trade Center Tackle Trading. Say we want to add, whoops, Apple was already in there. Say we wanted to add Newmont, right? Hopefully we're adding some of these metal stocks. They've been killing it lately. Say I want to add Newmont to my watch list, type in my ticker symbol there, and I'm going to left click it. Oops. And I'm going, oh, there I go. Left click it, and now I'm hit that plus button. I don't know why it was bringing me up that second window, but maybe that's what it does now. Now that'll add that to my list. If I decide I don't need it anymore, I say, you know what, Tesla, you're doing this when I've got, FCX doing that. I'm just done with you. I'll just select them and hit that minus button, and I've got rid of them. So it's very easy to manage, to have a list of stocks. You don't always have to log into your brokerage account if you don't want to. If you want to have something like that, very easy place to be able to do that. Just kind of a short upcoming calendar for the next few days type of a thing. If we're live on YouTube, like we are right now, this will, be showing that usually, or the halftime report or whatever. If we're not live, it'll be playing a replay. It's usually, if it's not live, it's a replay of the Tackle Trading halftime report. Where you are in any of your courses, so you can pick right back up where you left off. There's going to be a link to a couple of different, up here, there's going to be a couple different trader tools. The Market Skylines, just kind of a place where we have all of our charts for our big stuff, right? The major indexes, the S&P, the Dow, the NASDAQ, the RUT, Bitcoin, etc. The major commodities, gold, silver, copper, crude, etc. And the sector ETFs. So we can easily, and it doesn't have to be here, but these are all things that are pretty important to the market and a part of a healthy routine, in my opinion, to be looking at each day. It's just an easy place to have them all on one spot where I can easily browse through them. I do this primarily, go through this phase in my own charting platform. So I have all my own indicators and lines and all that fun stuff. But this is a nice place to be able to have all of them here available to you. There's also a link to a FinViz heat map. If you want to just take that, quick visual look, hey, what did the day look like today in the market? That the open heat maps will bring you to FinViz and their heat map page. There's a news aggregator. This is going to, go through some of the major financial websites like the Times, Market Watch, CNBC, Wall Street Journal, and just kind of get these headlines here. And I can easily scroll through and see if there's anything that I actually want to read instead of having bounce around, a bunch of different websites. Very easy. Oh, hey, energy materials. Yeah, I've been enjoying those. Let's go read what these guys have to say about it, right? So just an easy way to save you some clicks and do a little headline browsing and only read things that actually are interesting to you. There's a link to the economic calendar, another link to our reports, which are also up here, a link to the compounding gains calculator, a link to a chart if you ever need one for whatever reason, another link to our glossary, alerts to our search tool, which is also right up here in this little magnifying glass. There's also a link to tradingjustice.com here. Each Monday comes the Trading Justice podcast with Matt, Mark, and Tim Justice. If you've never caught it before, it's definitely a lot of fun and very informative. That comes out each week. You can, listen to it directly over on tradingjustice.com, and this will take you right over there. Of course, you can just get there any way you would like to. It's also available on all of the major podcast providers. Definitely worth incorporating into your weekly routine. There's also a really, really nice monthly newsletter that the guys do over there on tradingjustice.com that's very much worth reading each month. So that's tradingjustice.com. Smack this button, it'll take you over there. If you ever want to listen to the podcast over there, if you want to catch a newsletter or whatever the case might be. That's going to be our Trade Center. You'll also notice when I had this little drop down here, there's a link to our trade journals, but there's also directly in the Trade Center, there's our trade journals in here as well. I always like this one because it takes us to the page where the video walkthrough is, which is always helpful in my opinion. Journaling your trades is really important. Every trade you make is data if you let it be, right? And it doesn't have to be this big to do, right? Hey, today I got into this, today I got out of that, right? If I'm doing my job over time, I'm going to recognize things, right? Oh, I do a lot better when this is going on. I don't have such a good track record when this isn't going on. Hey, what would happen if I would have used a different stop loss methodology? What would have happened if I, was targeting a little less aggressive? It's really going to help you tailor your rules to you based on what you are, experiencing, right? So it's so important to journal our trades. This video will walk you through it if you need some help. It's not too terribly complicated, but I say that as someone who's not very good at spreadsheets. And when I first got it, I needed this video. So that might be why the video got made. I don't know. If we're in here and coming into our journals this way, just scroll down a little bit. Here's the trade journal. Our download will be right here. We also have our theta research journal for prepping and comparing fairly our cash flow trades. We have a portfolio journal to kind of help keep organized within the broader sense of the portfolio, right? If I just have 2 trades going on right now, that's not a big deal. It's going to be real easy to keep on track of that. But I might have 17 trades going on right now that I've built over the last, 3 weeks, different types of trades, different expirations. I need to know where I'm at, right? That's going to make my life a lot easier if I know exactly where I'm at in the market. So the portfolio journal can help you on that side of it as well. So you can get the journals, drop down style, or you can come directly into the trade center, smack the trade journals there and download them here. You'll also have access to that video if you come into it this way. Our clubhouse is kind of our own personal social media page. It's just us. It's just trading. So if you have a question, if you want to bounce some ideas around, if you want to see what other traders are doing, what their thoughts are, just a great place to be able to connect with other traders, right? Not that there isn't some value to, the more traditional, style of social medias to do that, but it is kind of nice, at least in my mind. I'm not a big social media guy, to have a place that it's just trading. It's just traders. We're just talking about trading. If someone has a question that I can help out with, I can share my 2 cents on it. If I don't have anything to say, maybe I know somebody who does. So it is really nice to have a place. And I invite, everyone to join us over there in our clubhouse. That's going to kind of end that first bucket of things that you can do on your own. So hopefully that gives you a better idea of what these things are, and maybe where they would fit in for you, depending on maybe where, what your goals are, where you are, from a trader's perspective. If you're brand new, if you've been trading a while, but just getting into options or whatever the case might be. Kind of move on to that second bucket here, and that's going to be basically our schedule, right? Things that you can do with others. And let's kind of start, the daily or each market day. We start each market day at 11 a.m. Eastern over in our Traders Lounge here at Tackle Trading. We get together with our team for an hour, and it is basically where our team members can bring their specific questions for discussion. That might be a strategy that you just can't wrap your head around, and you need somebody to kind of walk you through from the very beginning to the very end of putting in that bull call spread, right? It might be a trade setup that you found and want to get some other thoughts on. It might be a trade you've got going on and want to discuss some management techniques, right? It might be, something like you're struggling on your daily routine. I mean, who knows, right? Over the course of time, we all have questions, and our Traders Lounge allows us to very specifically focus on what our team's questions are, not what we want to talk about today or anything along those lines. You're always welcome. That'll go for an hour again each market morning. So effectively Monday through Friday, minus the holidays that we get, kind of sprinkled in throughout the year. Your questions are always welcome in there. There's a lot of different types of traders in there, right? And so don't let that scare you off. If you're a new trader and you get in and someone's talking about managing their legs of their condor, it might be a little intimidating, but we've all been there. We've all been new once upon a time. No one's going to judge or attack you or anything like that. So there's no question that you can't ask us in there. Nothing too basic, nothing too advanced. That is the one show that we don't regularly record. Because no one's going back to listen to the Traders Lounge from 2 years ago, right? But we will regularly record snippets of that Traders Lounge and get them posted in here for our team members who maybe can't join us. or they need to kind of rewatch it or something along those lines. If your schedule is such that you just can never join the Traders Lounge, you're just at work, or whatever, but you have a question and need some help, just drop us a line, send us an email to team@tackletrading.com. We'll always do our best to accommodate you. It's not a huge deal for us. Yeah, we can talk about that. We'll record it. We'll throw it up in here for you, and you can watch it when you get home from work. So don't be afraid to ask if you need a little bit of help from that perspective. We're always going to do our best to accommodate our team members. So that's each market morning at 11 a.m. Eastern. Shortly thereafter, that'll go for an hour. Over here on YouTube, we get together in our tackle trading halftime report at 12:30 Eastern. That's a live looking at the market where we can kind of go through the daily routine, talk about, hey, what's going on in the market today? How is it impacting our charts? The different areas of the market, being the S&P, gold, oil, Bitcoin, stocks in the news, earnings roundups, all of that fun stuff, to really go through that daily routine with members of our team. That's live on YouTube at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. Of course, being on YouTube, once the stream is over, it'll automatically populate over to our YouTube channel. So every market day at 11 Eastern, we'll be with our team over here at Tackle Trading in our Traders Lounge. Then we'll be heading over to our YouTube channel at 12:30 to go through the halftime report and kind of follow along with the market, if you will. So that's kind of the daily schedule, if you will. Then we have our evening schedule. On Monday nights, we tend to do this webinar, just kind of walking people that are new to tackle trading, or maybe looking at us for the first time through what we're doing over here. We also a lot of times we will be meeting up with one of the members of our premium systems in their mastermind group on Monday nights as well. On Tuesday nights, we do what I would probably personally consider our flagship show in the Coaches Show at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. We're a couple days into the trading week, right? By Tuesday night, we're well into the trading week. Talk about, hey, what's standing out right now? Any kind of a market skyline, if you will. But it also allows us, and this is what I love about it, is it allows us to take one of the many concepts in trading, from strategies to indicators to routine to portfolio design to particular technical setup, and take one of those things and have a really good quality, in-depth, lengthy discussion on incorporating that into our trading. That's what I love about the Coaches Show. Is all of this stuff. I mean, I could talk for hours on moving averages, but a lot of times I get like 3 minutes to talk about them. And so it's really nice that we have a place where we can really, sit down and dive deep into that. Obviously, we're not going to try to tackle everything every single week, right? We're going to be pretty organized in there. We're going to try to keep it topical, towards what's going on in the market right now. The Coaches Show is live at 8:30 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays. It's also recorded and archived. So if you can't join live, if you want to rewatch it, if you want to watch an episode from last week or last month or last year even, all of that will be right over there. If you just click on the Coaches Show, that will take you in there. On Thursdays, once again at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, we get together in our Cash Flow Club. That's going to be a fairly narrowly focused group where we talk about building and managing those cash flow strategies, right? I think collectively we are big fans of cash flow trading over here at Tackle Trading. And so, building and managing covered calls, building and managing credit spreads, building and managing naked puts, condors, et cetera, right? So really going to be focused very exclusively on building and managing those cash flow type of trades Thursday nights in the Cash Flow Club, just like the Coaches Show, live at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, this time on Thursdays. It's also recorded and archived. You can always go back and watch any archived episodes that you would like to do, or to meet more convenient time. We obviously love to have our team live with us, but schedules are schedules, right? So that's on Thursday night. On Wednesday, we're kind of doing a twofer. Over here on YouTube, our YouTube channel at 7 Eastern, we do our Trade Masters webinar. A couple of the coaches will bring 5 different trade setups and bounce them off one another, members of the team in the chat, Coach Mark, who's usually moderating it for us, and just kind of share some trade ideas with one another. At the end of it, Mark arbitrarily, it seems, declares a winner, and maybe it's not arbitrarily. Maybe there's a method to his judging madness. But it's really just a fun way to be able to get together with the team, share trade ideas with one another. That's live on YouTube at 7 p.m. Eastern time. And then shortly after that's over, again, that'll go for an hour at about at 8:30 Eastern. We'll get together over here at Tackle Trading in a post show, if you will. And the best way to explain that's going to be one of our mind of a trader type of things. So I'm going to come into the trade center and into the events calendar here. Maybe. There we go. And that's going to be our Traders Lounge Labs edition. And this is always going to be probably the easiest way to get into any show, right? Just come in here, as you can kind of see. If I'm ready to go into the into the next mastermind group or what have you, I can just click on it and I'm ready to roll. Right, I'll get all the information in there. But we're talking Wednesday nights right now. After we've done our Trade Masters webinar, we'll get together with members of our team at 8:30 Eastern over here at Tackle Trading and just discuss any further questions that they have on any of those trade setups, whether it's technically strategy selection, whatever the case might be. So we'll just kind of build off of what we discussed over in our Trade Masters webinar. And that's so it's kind of a twofer here on Wednesday night with the Trade Masters at 7 Eastern on our YouTube channel, and then back over at Tackle Trading in our Traders Lounge at 8:30, where we can kind of, like I said, answer really any questions, go a little deeper if we need to on anything that we discussed over in that Trade Masters webinar. That's going to be Wednesday night. We have a couple of things that that aren't going to be kind of fit into the traditional Thursday at 8:30 Eastern type of situations. One of which is our Women in Trading Mastermind group. As I mentioned earlier, we have a tremendous team of female traders with us here at Tackle Trading. They get together about once a month in their Women in Trading Mastermind group, where what they do, I don't really know. I don't get to go, but I do know them, and I know that they're having fun in there. I know that they're working hard. And they, I'll let them have that one show without me if they have to. I'm always a little jealous because they're such fun people to be around, but that's okay. If you're a woman in trading, or if you know a woman in trading, definitely would encourage you to connect with the awesome gals in Women in Trading. Great people, great traders, fun to be around, very helpful. Can't say enough good things about our women team members here at Tackle Trading. That tends to be about once a month. It tends to be towards the end of the month. We'll always promote it ahead of time so you know when it is. That's the Women in Trading. And then our Mind of a Trader is kind of two different things. It's the Coach Mark does a Friday at the closing bell, about an hour before the market closes, 3 p.m. Eastern. He'll do his commodity report live with the team, but he'll basically just hang out with the team and they'll bounce ideas around with each other, share trade setups and ideas, make some last minute decisions going into the upcoming weekend. Just another great place to be able to hang out with other traders, ask questions, bounce around ideas, get some ideas. That's the Mind of the Trader at the closing bell, Fridays at 1 Mountain Time, 3 Eastern Time. And then on Sunday nights at 8:30 Eastern, Coach Mark also does a weekend prep class. Had a few hours to digest the futures open, and based off of all of that, kind of going into the very early part of the week, let's put together a little bit of a game plan and bounce ideas around that side of things as well. Easiest way to get into these, because there are two, well, it's pretty easy to get into anything just by clicking on the show and hitting the link in there. Because there's two Mind of a Traders, the easiest way to get into them is going to be here in the events calendar and just clicking on the one that you would like to do. So that's kind of what the weekly schedule looks like. Kind of the way I maybe oversimplify it is the Traders Lounge is for your questions. It's to discuss what you want to discuss. The halftime report is for the daily routine, staying on top of the market. The evening shows are where we can really do a lot of teaching, right? And go in depth on concepts that maybe we don't have enough time to go in depth, while we're talking about them for 5 minutes over in the halftime report or something along those lines. And that's probably oversimplifying it a little bit, but helps keep it organized in my mind, at least. So that's what the schedule looks like. You're welcome to join us in all of these things, just the ones that fit to your schedule or fit into your style of trading. It's up to you. You can build your own tackle trading, which is what I think is so cool about it. Let's talk that third and final bucket here, and that is our weekend reports. On Fridays, we're all getting together collectively as a group of coaches here at Tackle Trading. We're talking markets, we're talking sectors, industries, currencies, commodities, trade setups in what we call our scouting report meeting. It's always a lot of fun, and it's always a marathon meeting, but it's always awesome to be able to hang out with other traders and that you trust and respect and bounce ideas around with them for hours on end. I love doing it. Out of that scouting report meeting comes our weekend reports. We'll get all of these to you by Saturday afternoon, so you have time to go through any or all before the market gets back up and running. The Tackle newsletter, let's start there. We take that top-down approach here at Tackle Trading. That is a fundamental belief that you start at the top of the market and work down, right? You go with the flow. Lately, I'm pretty sure you would like to be involved with some of the material stocks because they've been really, really strong, right? Whereas utilities have had some ups and downs, but come on, that's not where the good stuff's been lately, right? So we want to go with the flow, and it's important to do. And that's exactly what we're doing here in the newsletter each week. Kind of, hey, what are the storylines going on right now in the broad market, right? Right now, the story's fairly simple, right? We're seeing a lot of good stuff, in the Dowie type of companies, finance, industrials, materials in particular, and relative weakness over in tech and semis and things, discretionary things like that, right? That's what's happening in the market, whether we like it or not, right? So what's going on in the market? What does the economic calendar look like going into this upcoming week? Of course, we'll have a video here kind of talking you through all of this stuff. Where's the S&P? How are we reading that index? You'll have the index ETFs if you ever need them, DIA for the Dow Jones, QQQ for the NASDAQ, IWM for the Russell 2000, and SPY for the S&P 500. Coach Gino's Arkham high-low indicator that looks at over 8,000 stocks. It looks at the internals of the market, so we can kind of see, hey, what is it when we look at deep into the market? Are we seeing a lot of strength? Are we seeing some weakness? Are we seeing a lot of weakness? What's going on in there to kind of let us know where we were out? So it's actually, we've got a warning this week. Are we going to overvalue that or undervalue that? Hopefully neither, right? But we did get a little bit of a warning in the Arkham high low this week. This seasonality chart, hey, historically, what does the market tend to do at whatever time of year we're looking at it, right? We're getting into the summertime. Summertime is, a lot of chop, usually, historically speaking, right? Back and forth, don't really go anywhere, but we move a lot, right? Kind of a stock pickers type of a market. Will it play out that way again this summer? Only time will tell. But it is nice to know that historically that's what happens. Not going to be surprised. I wasn't surprised when April was really strong because historically April's a really strong month. Not going to be surprised when the fourth quarter is really strong because historically the fourth quarter is a really fun time. The October to Christmas time, good times in the market from a historical perspective. So let you know kind of how does history, view this time of year. Same with the sectors. What sectors tend to be the strongest, tend to be the, relatively speaking, at least weakest each month. Our rankings for the sectors, we put them on a football field, and we'll talk you through this in the video. It's a little easier to kind of share the ideas, each week in the video, but kind of let based off of what's going on within the components of these sectors, how are we viewing them going into the upcoming week? Kind of put it on a football field, right? With between the 40s being neutral, maybe skewed a little bit one way or the other, slightly bullish or slightly bearish, 20 to 40, and then 20 to the goal line, bullish or bearish. It's very, very rare that we put anything in the end zone or -3 territory. It's very common for us, as traders and us as coaches and me specifically to put a stock at +or -3. It's very common. Oh, I love this setup. But for me, it's not only uncommon, it's never happened. And I seriously don't think it ever will, where I'm ever going to put a whole index or a whole sector into a +3 territory. And that's not who I am. And that's not who we are at Tackle Trading. So while you never say never, right? Because I'm pretty sure I can say never. So you never say never in life. It is going to be very unlikely that we ever put something, +or -3 from the index or the ETF perspective. But we kind of let you know where we're seeing, the different strength and in the sectors each week, what we're liking a little more than last week, that type of stuff. So you can get an idea of kind of at least how we're viewing the different sectors. You'll have the sector spider ETFs. If you're unfamiliar with these, they're good things to get to know. What they do is they're ETFs. They'll go into the S&P 500 and they'll pull out just stocks in that area. So XLB, for example, we brought materials up a few times. That's the material sector, right? So we go into the S&P 500, we pull out just the material stocks, and we put those stocks into a portfolio. So this is kind of a look at how the material sector has been doing as of late. Whereas here's a look at how technology has been doing as of late. XLU, the utility sector ETF. So it's a very efficient way to be able to kind of see how these different sectors are performing. These are ETFs, meaning they're tradable. These particular ETFs are optionable as well. If you do want to trade them, that's always nice. If you want more information about them, you can, of course, go directly to the ETF provider's website, which is www.sectorspdr.com. That is the website for the ETF provider, where you can really dive deep if you want to do that. We'll have a little bit of a write-up in here as well to kind of let you know these are weighted by market cap, right? Just like the S&P is. They're not all equal, if you will. And it's important to kind of know what's going on so you can kind of see that, real estate makes up, 2.5% of the S&P 500, whereas tech makes up over a quarter of it. So little things like that. Another friendly reminder to match the strategy to the situation, right? We'll have a pre-built scanner. If a particular area has caught your attention, you want to take a closer look at stocks in that area. So say we want to go look at the basic materials here, caught our attention. This will bring you up to a page with what I call trader-friendly stocks. And all I mean when I say that is they've got good liquidity, very easy to trade the shares. They're optionable. Doesn't necessarily mean the options are easy to trade, but they are optionable. I can always check into it. If I'm uncomfortable trading the options, I can just trade the shares outright. I would say as a whole, they are fairly easy to trade with options as a whole, but you do want to always double check. You don't want to get stuck in a liquid option. But I can just easily kind of do a quick, bird's eye view, right, of anything standing out here for me that I would like to go take a closer look at. I couldn't put together a trade on these little tiny charts, but I can kind of get an idea of if I like what I kind of see as maybe a little high base developing on Eastman Chemicals here, or, the pullback that's maybe developed over here in Still Dynamics. So just an easy way to look at a lot of charts quickly that are very liquid, so very easy to trade shares, and are optionable. So at least we can check the options, right? At least that's a potential way that we can trade them if that's the way that we want to go about it. It is a free FinViz site, so you will have to deal with some ads, but that's what you get when you're me and just use the free site. So that's going to be the newsletter each and every week. Then we're going to have the stock, option, commodity, and Forex report. Coach Cody does the Forex report for us, usually does a great job, highlighting hey, what's going on in the currency market, how are the major pairs lining up technically, news items on the docket to be keeping an eye out for. He does a lot of teaching in there as well. He's taught a lot of our team members how to trade Forex over the years. Did a really good job, introducing them to that market and kind of what's going on over there. So that's the Forex report. Coach Mark does his commodity report. He does that live in his Mind of a Trader at the closing bell on Fridays, but we'll also, kind of get it posted in here for our team as well, where you can talk about, technicals and the fundamentals and kind of the storylines and themes that are going on with these commodities, right? Right now, the metals are hot, right? That's just what's going on, right? Why is that? What are the expectations going into the next week? So that's the commodity report. Even if you don't trade commodities, there's a lot of great things we can do, whether it's trading, stocks, right? Newmont, GDX, the gold miners ETFs, FCX, tackle trading favorite for sure. There's lots of things that we can do, even if we aren't trading in the actual commodity market. There's a lot of things that we can do to take advantage of movement in commodity prices. Mark will also highlight that type of stuff over there as well. Then our stock and option report are going to be built very similar with some swing trading type of candidates going into the upcoming week. The stock report and option report are going to differ a little bit, whereas in the stock report we're really going to be focused more on technicals and execution and stuff like that. In the option report, it's not that that's not important, because of course it is. We're going to spend more time talking strategy selection, right? Why would I choose to go long call instead of bull call or bull put here? That type of stuff. But the watch lists are going to be built very, very similar to one another. So we'll come into the stock report here. Each week, we're going to put together out of our trading, our scan report meeting, we're going to bring out all of the trade setups, technical setups that we like the best going into the week, and of course share them with members of our team. We'll have both a bullish and a bearish watch list because sometimes you never know what the market's going to do, right? For the most part, I think like so many other traders out there, we've been pretty bullish lately, but it doesn't mean it's not a good idea to have a couple of bearish trade ideas if you need them in your back pocket, right? We can kind of, in the stock report, talk a little bit more about the technicals and that type of stuff. Very straightforward, right? These are going to be technical patterns we can kind of work through and see if there's anything that I feel like is worth adding to my watch list or worth setting up a trade on right now. Very, very fun. I love charting. I'm a technical trader through and through. So it's always fun to put together watch lists, to put together trading plans and follow them through. If a couple of just things in here, just so I'll just use 3D here as an example. This is a reversal candidate, little double bottom, working into some resistance after a pop on its earnings here, after kind of a long stretch to the downside, right? I'll use this one as an example to kind of walk through some of the tools you can use on these built-in charts that are here. This guy right here will hide the watch list, smack it again, it'll bring it back so I can get a little bit more chart. Right here, you're going to have your trend line tools. So I can draw either a trend line if it's applicable, or I can draw in this particular case, horizontal resistance, right? So I can kind of draw this kind of what I'm thinking. If we break above this resistance, then I should have some upward price appreciation, right? Kind of what my idea is here on this trade, whether you agree with it or not. Your time frame is going to be up here. So I don't think we need to do it in this particular case, but maybe you do. This little drop down, maybe I want to go look at the intraday chart, see if there's something on the hourly chart, say for an entry or a stop loss. Maybe I want to look at the weekly chart to see, historically, how does this thing look, right? That's kind of bouncing off this old resistance zone, right? It was an old high back in the day. So you can, if you would like to or need to, change your time frame. If for whatever reason you prefer bar charts to candlestick charts, you can do that. That's that guy right there. If you want to add an indicator or two, that's right here on the indicators. They will not save. So just be aware that if you add some or a bunch and come, close the page, come back tomorrow, they are going to be gone. So don't get too crazy, or at least if you do, know that that's what's going to happen. I'm going to add the ATR here. If you need to make your indicator bigger or smaller, you can just hover your mouse on kind of the barrier between the volume and the indicator itself and hold the left mouse button down and drag it up or drag it down. You can, up in the chart, scroll your mouse wheel and you can zoom in, you can zoom out. We can come over here to the dollars and hold the left click down. I can scrunch it down, I can scrunch it up. So I can really get this chart so I can see exactly where I want it to be, right? So a lot of fun things you can do there. You're also going to have this guy right here. This is your predict that where you can build some trades, long or short. So this is a long trade example here. So my idea would be an entry above that high from last week. I'm not going to get too specific, but I would need to, right, in reality. But that's what I'd like my entry price to be. I've got a target in mind of here, let's say. That's where my target is. My plan is to put my stop loss below that low here that put together last week. And I can quickly see what this trade looks like. For every dollar that I'm risking, I have $1.68 of profit potential, right? And that might not be good enough. Well, it's good enough. It's my first target, right? Like a lot of traders, I have the at least 2-to-1 rule. It's not good enough if that's my second target, right? Maybe that's as far as I think it's going to go. And I might say, you know what? I'm going to have to, maybe instead of using that support level, I'll use the low of today for my stop loss. What does that look like? Risking $1 to get $3.15. Am I comfortable being that tight on a stop loss? Well, that's for me to decide, right? That's for you to decide. You might not even like this trade setup, and that's okay if you don't. But it is a really handy little tool. It saves you a lot of time doing napkin math. At least me doing napkin math. I'm not particularly fast when it comes to math. So you can do that for both the bears and the bullish trade setups. Again, that's this guy right here, this prediction and measurement tools, long or short. There's a lot of other things that you can do in here, but these are some of the main things that can really make the experience a little bit better if you're using these charts. And you probably will at least use these charts the first time you go through the stock report, right? You'll probably take the ones that you like and put them in your own personal watch list from there. For the first time through, you're probably going to be, at least the first time through, probably checking them out over here as well. So want to highlight some attractive trade ideas, right? We want to have good quality, repeatable setups, whether they're reversals like we're seeing on 3D, whether they're pullbacks like we're seeing on Brookdale here, right? Whether they're breakout type of plays like we're seeing on FedEx. We always want to highlight some attractive trade ideas to members of our team. It's up to you, right? If you want to use them all, great. If you don't like any this week, no big deal. If you anything in between, which is probably what normally probably what we all do, is kind of pick our favorites and add them to our watch list and wish everybody else the best on the rest. We would just want to make sure you have some quality trade candidates vetted going into each and every week. In addition to the watch list, we'll also take a little opportunity to do a little teaching, right? This week in the stock report, Coach Greg talked a little bit about putting together a little bit of a longer term plan. Over in the ops report, Coach Ty talked a little bit more about refining your entries and your stop losses and things of that nature. We'll always use take a little time within our weekly reports and do a little bit of teaching and share some ideas with members of the team as well. All of these, like I said earlier, you can expect delivered to you by Saturday afternoon, so you have plenty of time to go through any or all of them. Don't be afraid to prioritize, right? It's okay. It's normal, right? If you're a Forex report, primarily a Forex trader, you're probably going to prioritize the Forex report over the options report. Doesn't make you a bad person, just makes you, right? So don't be afraid to build your own tackle trading. So that is going to be our report. Lastly, just the last couple of things, and I'll let you get out of here today. Our Tackle Today is our daily email. If you would like the Tackle Today email and you don't get it, just click Tackle Today. You can sign up for the daily email in here. We'll also post the daily email in here as well. It will be delivered faster to your inbox, but it is in here as well if you prefer to go that route. We talked about the huddle, a great way to kind of get those top stories in a quick, unbiased manner. Definitely worth incorporating that into your daily routine in my mind. If you're ever looking for more information on anything, the store is a great place to go, but never hesitate to send us an email to team@tackletrading.com. We are active on all of the more traditional, big social media platforms, LinkedIn, Instagram, as I guess as much as you can on those type of things, right? We do a lot on our YouTube channel. We don't just do our live streams. We have a lot of how-tos, a lot of walkthroughs. We have an entire playlist on Thinkorswim tutorials. We're always doing more. So certainly invite you to join us over on our YouTube channel. And that deal. Facebook, I'm not a Facebook user, but a lot of people do like Facebook. We do have a tackle trading Facebook group. If you're a Facebook person, certainly welcome you to join us over there. I'm more of a Twitter guy myself, where it's an easy place to be able to share interesting chart setups, upcoming earnings, top gainers and losers, upcoming events at Tackle Trading. So if you're a Twitter user, I'll look forward to seeing you. I'll definitely see you over there. I invite you to join us in any of these platforms that you are using. Like I said a few times, never hesitate to reach out to us, team@tackletrading.com. If you need some help, if you're not quite sure where to go next, whatever case might be, don't hesitate. That's what we're here for. Drop us a line at team@tackletrading.com. We do have a standing offer for a free 15-day trial. If you are just looking into tackle trading for the first time, I thank you for your time today. We can get you set up with a free trial. It'll be in the link of every YouTube video that we do. And you can see what we're all about here on the back end with stress-free, no decision type of environment. So that will get set up if you would like to. If you just joined us, I welcome you to the team. Great to have you here. I look forward to getting to know each and every one of you better as the days turn into weeks and into months. Some of the members of Team Tackle, I feel like I know better than most of my real life friends at this point in time, which is awesome. I love being part of the trading community. I love being able to bounce ideas around with other traders. I love having traders to talk to because I'm excited when I see a reversal chart. Most of my real life friends aren't all that interested, but boy, I know my team members at Tackle Trading, they're more than happy to talk about that reversal with me. So it's really fun to be able to have a place to go without driving, my family and everybody else crazy. I can just go talk charts till I'm blue in the face. And I love being part of a trading community, and I hope you'll enjoy it as well. Ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for today, but I thank you for your time, whether you caught us live or caught us on the replay. Appreciate you hanging out tonight. Appreciate you taking a look at tackle trading. I welcome you to the team. We can get you hooked up with a 15-day free trial if you would like. Just hit that little link there, and that will take you where you need to go. I'll let you get out of here today. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, or if you're watching this on a Tuesday, enjoy the rest of your week. I'll see you around. This won't be goodbye. This will just be good evening. So welcome to Tackle Trading. Appreciate your time. Have a wonderful rest of the week, both in and out of the market. And I hope to be seeing each and every one of you again very, very soon. Good night, everyone.